Vectorman is a run-and-gun platformer for the Mega Drive released on November 1995 when the PlayStation and Saturn were already released, so it didn't get the attention it deserves. This might be the only Sega intro screen to be interactive. Shut down! And when the title screen comes up, it's hard to think of many games in the 16-bit era that could motivate me to play a video game as much as Vectorman. This takes a real-world approach, setting it in 2049 when global warming has had a profound effect. The citizens of Earth evacuate the planet and send out robots to clean up while humanity finds another planet to colonize. However, one robot called Rasta attaches itself to a nuclear bomb, becomes Warhead, takes control of all robots, and turns Earth into a death trap for the returning humans. But another robot called Vectorman is immune to Warhead's control, and will do whatever it can to take back Earth for humanity, even if it means single-handedly do all the work. So it's a bit like the movie Wall-E, except that Wall-E robot didn't find Eve, it never left Earth, and it can fight back on its own. Setting this in a global warming-ridden Earth had the potential to send a very strong message, but it's only there at the start, then after 5 minutes of gameplay you forget that it's 2049. Still, I can imagine Leonardo DiCaprio playing this a lot if he was a gamer. That's what platformers are good at, making you forget about the story because the gameplay is more important. This is one of the main reasons why Sega should reboot Vectorman. The global warming concept would be more popular today than in 1995, especially since storytelling in video gaming today has evolved. This came out late in the Mega Drive's life cycle, and games like these were really pushing the Mega Drive's limits. When you compare the launch title Altered Beast to Vectorman, you can see how far the system has lived on. This was Sega's answer to Donkey Kong Country, as both used pre-rendered graphics. The controls are okay. Vectorman can shoot in different directions, duck down, double jump, and even shoot down while in the air. It does feel a little bit like a Metroid spin-off, only shorter and linear. Different power-ups include automatic fire, spread, a bomb, a fish, and a missile. They can be found shooting broken computers, kind of like another Sega game. At the end of a stage, he gives a rundown of how many protons and computers smashed, and rounds up the total points to give you extra lives, and my god, you'll need them because there are no continues or passwords. For crying out loud, Sega! I know it takes about an hour to beat, but so did a majority of NES games and they had infinite continues or passwords. The animations on Vectorman are pretty cool. When it's falling, it's waving its body around. When it dies, it just falls into pieces like glass. And it has a nice little pose when beating a boss. Even robots should have personality. In the background, thunderstorms go off. Now that's what I call a hero shot. Rain is coming off the rocky walls, and lighting reflects the screen and Vectorman itself. There are a couple of bird's eye view stages when you're avoiding a giant robot on train tracks. I'm surprised trains still exist in 2049. One where you're fighting two rocks on a roll, and another in a club that spawns mini tornadoes, I think. One of the most annoying parts of Vectorman is that over 90% of enemies appear when it's too late to react, and sometimes even if you shoot in advance, you still get hit. I love the sound effects. And what a soundtrack. I mean, what a soundtrack. This ranks up there with Streets of Rage 2 and Gunstar Heroes as some of the best music in a Mega Drive game. Very fitting because the last few levels go super fly TNT and you'll feel lucky to make it through. Some levels end with a boss and get harder each level. Because the graphics are pre-rendered, it's hard to figure out what they are exactly. Seriously, what do you call that? But the final boss, I'm gonna tell you right now, the difficulty goes way too far. You literally have to triple task. Stay on platforms while aiming in the right direction, dodging full-blown attacks and projectiles all in a very short time limit. Fuck! Did I mention you have no continues or passwords? So if you're lucky to get this far, you only have so many chances. And once they're gone, you have to start all over again. Right at the beginning, as if you just put the cartridge in the Mega Drive and switched it on. What a fucking joke. The last few levels definitely rank up there with Dynamite Head, Ghouls and Ghosts and Battletoads as being tough as steel. This is definitely not for short-tempered gamers. I learned that the hard way because the final boss certainly put me in a bad mood for a while, until I tried again and eventually beat it and felt on top of the world. And kudos to anyone else who beat it. Looking at the front cover, when Vectorman was released in 1995, Sega were giving away prizes to people who beat the game and got the lucky cartridge, including $25,000, a VIP access to Sega headquarters, and a starring role in a Sega commercial. Now that's what I call gaming in the 90s. So what do I give Vectorman all things considered? I would say 7 out of 10. I like the pre-rendered graphics and solid gameplay, but enemy placement is a bitch, and I wish Sega realized that no continues and passwords in a video game is a really stupid idea. I think the over-reliance on Sonic was the main reason this never took off. This definitely would have worked as a Saturn or Dreamcast title. Sega did announce Vectorman 3 on the PlayStation 2, but nothing came of it. It's a shame. When you search Vectorman on Sega's website, it comes up with download for PC. No description or news, just download like it's a side project for a mobile game. At least there are plenty of ways to get it. Physical, Steam, Virtual Console, or Mega Drive Ultimate Collection to name a few.